Hello everyone. Today I want to talk about a concept that I think reframes one of the most common and most misunderstood experiences in modern health. The idea that your body can be starving even when you are eating enough calories. Not literally starving. Not malnourished in the clinical, visible sense, but running a specific and measurable deficit in the inputs that the gut, the immune system, the brain, and the hormonal system require to function properly, while consuming enough total food that no one, including your doctor, would describe you as underfed. This is nutritional starvation in a sea of calories. And it is far more common than anyone acknowledges. Here are 3 signs that your body is experiencing exactly this. The first sign is that you are almost always tired but almost never actually rested by sleep. This is the specific quality of fatigue I want to name carefully, not the tiredness that follows exertion or a demanding week, but the kind that is simply present as a baseline. The kind that does not lift proportionally with rest. The kind where you sleep 7 or 8 hours and wake up feeling like you have not slept at all. When this pattern is persistent, the most common explanation offered is poor sleep quality. And that may be partially true, but the deeper driver in many cases is cellular energy starvation, the mitochondria in your cells not having the raw materials they need to produce ATP efficiently. Mitochondrial function depends on a specific set of nutritional cofactors, B vitamins, particularly B1, B2, B3, and B12, along with magnesium, iron, coenzyme Q10, and adequate dietary fat. When any of these are consistently insufficient, energy production at the cellular level runs below its designed capacity. The person sleeps. The body attempts recovery. But the cellular machinery cannot complete the process because the inputs are not there. According to research, subclinical deficiencies in B vitamins and magnesium levels that fall within the broad normal reference range but below optimal function thresholds are among the most prevalent nutritional gaps in young adults eating what they consider a normal or even healthy diet. In one study, targeted repletion of these specific cofactors in individuals presenting with persistent fatigue and normal standard labs produced meaningful improvements in energy and cognitive function within 6 to 8 weeks. The labs said they were fine. The cells said otherwise. The second sign is that your recovery from physical or emotional stress takes longer than it should. This is something most people notice but rarely connect to nutrition. You get sick and it lingers 2 weeks when it should resolve in 5 days. You go through a stressful period and it takes months to feel normal again afterward. You exercise and your muscles are sore, far beyond what the effort justifies. You have a difficult social interaction and the emotional residue stays with you far longer than seems proportionate. Recovery, whether from infection, physical exertion, or psychological stress, is a biological process that requires specific resources. The immune system requires zinc, vitamin C, vitamin D, and adequate protein to mount and resolve a response efficiently. Muscle repair requires leucine, glycine, and a range of micronutrients involved in collagen synthesis and protein turnover. Cortisol clearance after a stress response depends on liver function, adequate B vitamins, and the gut's capacity to process and excrete stress hormones efficiently. According to research, dietary protein insufficiency is one of the most commonly missed nutritional gaps in young adults who eat regularly but prioritize convenience foods, restrict animal products without strategic replacement, or undereat, generally due to busy schedules. In one study, young adults with protein intakes below optimal thresholds, not below clinical deficiency levels, but below the amounts that support efficient immune function and tissue repair, showed significantly prolonged recovery times from upper respiratory infections and higher rates of musculoskeletal complaint compared to those meeting optimal intake targets. You are eating, but the body is not receiving what it needs to close the loop on recovery. And so the loops stay open, accumulating as a persistent sense of fragility that deepens over months. The third sign is that your gut reacts to more and more foods over time, not fewer. I have discussed expanding food intolerance in previous videos, but I want to approach it here specifically through the nutritional starvation lens, because the mechanism is slightly different from what I have covered before. And it is one of the most revealing signs that the body's gut maintenance system is under-resourced. The gut lining is one of the most metabolically demanding structures in the body. It turns over completely every 3 to 5 days. Meaning the intestinal epithelial cells are replaced continuously at a rate that requires a constant and significant supply of specific nutrients, glutamine, zinc, vitamin A, short-chain fatty acids, and adequate dietary protein. When these nutrients are consistently insufficient, the rate of gut lining repair slows. Old cells are not replaced efficiently. The structural proteins that maintain the tight junctions between cells, The seals that prevent gut contents from leaking into circulation become less robust. Each of them, the fatigue that sleep cannot fix, the slow recovery. The multiplying food sensitivities is the body signaling a specific kind of resource deficit, not a caloric deficit. A targeted nutritional deficit in the precise inputs required to maintain the systems generating the symptoms. And the reason this deficit is so common, and so consistently missed, is that it does not show up in standard clinical markers until it is severe. You can have inadequate glutamine availability for gut repair, insufficient B vitamins for mitochondrial function, and suboptimal zinc levels for immune response, all while your lab results look completely unremarkable. I hope this gave you a genuinely useful lens. Drop a comment and tell me which of the 3 signs you recognized. I read all of them. If this shifted something for you, hit the like button and share it with someone who has been told their labs are fine but still doesn't feel it. And if you're new to NutriFlow, subscribe and hit the bell. See you in the next one.